Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the
Did you
podcast.
forget the name of the show already?
I didn't. I was trying to do something else, and you jumped in there, and you rescued me.
Yeah.
When I didn't really need the rescuing this time.
Yeah.
Usually, you just let me drown.
You didn't need the life raft.
Yes. But hey, everybody! If you didn't know, welcome to the podcast. Amy and TJ here. Another episode and another daughter that Robach has sent away to Europe. Why do you keep sending your children to Germany?
Sending away. Wow, that sounds awful.
You did.
No, they begged me to go, and
Right.
I said, okay. Yes, no, my youngest, my 17-year-old Annalise, it is her mid-winter break, and so she opted to go to balmy, warm Berlin. Her older sister, Ava, is there studying abroad, and so she just arrived.
Well, I joke about it because we started an episode not too long ago, and obviously that episode was one that a lot of people talked about because we had gotten into, I hate calling it a fight, whatever. We aired out an argument we were having, and you had just dropped her off then. That wasn't long ago. And now here we are recording another, and you just shipped another kid off to Germany.
You know what's crazy? It was almost exactly a month ago. I know, and I'm just going to ignore it.
You're
but
shipping them off.
The funny thing is, so I was pretty emotional, as I pointed out, when Ava went off, because she's going to be gone for 5 months. And then Annalise is only gone for a week. But this is the beginning, because she is going to go to college next fall. And so now, for whatever reason, when I dropped her off at the airport, and this is the first time, by the way, she's ever flown by herself overseas. I mean, it is a big deal. I don't think a lot of 17-year-olds. So I was worried and nervous for her, but I don't know. I just got super emotional. I couldn't stop crying yesterday, probably because we had a little bit of a snafu that set me off, maybe too.
It wasn't a snafu
it made
that
me
sets
worried.
you off. You get all the way to the airport. You drive from Manhattan to JFK, which is the farthest airport from, if you're going to do it. That's the one you don't want to fly out of. Lovely airport, love you. It just takes a while to get to. You drive her out. You were very excited to get there. You drop her off.
Yep.
You leave said airport, and then you get a call.
I get a frantic phone call from Annalise saying, "Mom, I forgot my passport."
Which is the only thing you need if you're flying out of the country.
You can replace everything else except for your passport.
Yeah, poor girl.
So it's so funny. Like, I knew the answer, but as I'm pulling back around to get her and she's sobbing, I call my dad, who is a world traveler. I was like, just checking. Like, there's no way we can get her out of this country and back in without a passport. He was like, absolutely not. And so, yes, we had to drive an hour and a half. That's how long it takes in traffic back into Manhattan. And the whole time on the phone with Delta trying to rebook her as she pulled herself together. And I actually was proud that I didn't freak out either, because normally I think I would get upset with her, but she was so mad at herself. There was no reason to add on, to pile on. So I tried my best to say, it's okay. You're going to get on another flight. It's going to be fine. So, it's fine. She just ended up like the last row on the plane in a middle seat, and she was fine. She's 17.
But she's fine. But
she's fine.
I
And she
always
made
say,
it.
when these things happen, she's going to appreciate that she made the mistake now, because it's going to be a more important time that she will never, ever leave that passport.
She will never forget her passport again. And it's funny because, and I actually kind of kick myself a little bit as a mom. We have been able to travel a lot, and she and her sister have both been, I've really tried to have them be self-sufficient, independent. I don't pack them when they were little. So I don't even ask. This is the first time she forgot her passport. But as a mom, I was kicking myself. I should have said, "Do you have your passport?"
You are a great mom. And of all the things I see you do, there's worse things you should kick yourself for.
Wow.
Kidding.
I was waiting for what you were going to say
kidding,
next.
I'm kidding.
No, but I do take part responsibility. I am the adult, and I should have asked her, "Do you have your passport?" I did not.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
She got there. She's fine. They reunited.
Yes.
She and her sister. And everything's going to be great. But the reason she's going anywhere this week is because, and I listen, a lot of people not familiar with this. You had to learn this as well. But kids here in New York get they call it officially a midwinter recess. So your child, her school, Sabine is in public school up here. So they get a midwinter recess and then a spring recess. So that's traditionally what we're used to, a spring break for most of us in the country. So Sabine's got 2 months. She's off this week. We're looking at her right now, looking at us recording this podcast because she has nowhere to go because she's on break.
Well, so we put her to work.
So she's been working, helping us with this. But your daughter, Annalise, her school is set up to where her spring break is a month away.
It's a month away.
Okay,
So it's so ridiculous. So you have to have one break where, you have to figure out what you're going to do with them or where you're going to ship them off, as you like to say.
As you did.
No, usually I travel with them, but no, now, and then in another month, she has another break. It's a lot.
And these little parents sometimes do complain. Look, school is, yes, you want your kids in school, but also a lot of people use it. If you have a week that you have to find something to do with your kids, that can be tricky. And then you got a week and it's only a month or 2 months apart. It's tricky. I didn't grow up like this. You didn't either. We had Labor Day. We had Thanksgiving. We had 2 weeks at Christmas. We had Easter or Good Friday, I should say.
Yep.
We had spring break. I think we had MLK. What am I missing?
And that was it, because I think I was going to say down south, you actually were in school before Labor Day. So yes, you got Labor Day off. But by the time,
good point. Yes,
yeah,
that's
by
right.
the time Memorial Day was there, you were out of
kids are out of
school.
school.
And now our kids don't get off until the 4th of July, basically.
And it's a great thing here in New York. It's just obviously a much more diverse city. So you out for the Jewish holidays, you out for Eid, you're out for, it's a federal holiday now, but Juneteenth, you throw that in there. Yom Kippur is in there, of course. But you have all of these things. Kids are out of school so much. So the midwinter recess is a tricky one. And I was looking for something to do with Sabine. We begged her, like, come on, let's get out of town. Let's do something. Everything, nope, I just want to hang, which is fine. I guess that's cool.
I mean, that's great. It's just, it's tough for parents. Look, back when we had very demanding jobs, it was all the trickier.
Sweetheart, we still have a demanding job. I don't know what your experience is.
It's a little less demanding than it was.
You know what? I hear what you're saying and I get what you're saying. But man, in a lot of ways, we had so much of a support staff around us to be in a position now that we're doing. If folks will see us, and they will see some of this, we are sitting in a reading nook in the apartment with a laptop, a sleeping dog, and an 11-year-old who has a midwinter recess on the floor in front of us. What do you call that light we have in front?
It's a really cheap ring light that I got on Amazon.
Ring light with my phone. This is our setup. We had to do all of it. We had to prepare content. We had to research. So I get what you're saying, but man, the support we don't have.
Oh, correct.
Support staff. Excuse me, iHeart. We love you. You all are great in supporting us. I'm just saying. Yes.
No, but I hear what you're saying. It was just more of a schedule and we had to be somewhere. Now it's kind of on us. So the pressure's on us, but you can accommodate kids and dogs in a way you couldn't if you were going into the studio.
But we are with midwinter recess. I guess some kids love it. I thought, well, why in the world do they do this? Would they do this? It started simply about 45 years ago. They just wanted to save some money for a week. There was a kind of an oil and energy crisis. They were looking for a way to cut back. So they took a week off. They made a deal with the teachers union to save tens of millions of dollars by being off for a week. And it has stood the test of time. It's still here.
Always about money, isn't it?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Everything goes back to that. That's not surprising at all. And the fact that we're still doing it also is not surprising at all.
But we're looking for things. Look, your child is gone. My child didn't want to go anywhere. Still, I don't understand why. But if you're looking for something, parents in New York, we got a good option for you. Take them to the movies. We got a movie for you. You got to see.
Oh, yes. It was not a movie that maybe would have been on your radar if you had read any reviews. But that does not deter us because we're the two who I love a 30% or lower Rotten Tomatoes score. It usually is entertaining. So I'm not deterred by a bad review or two. Madam Web, we saw it this weekend, and I would say we had one of the best movie experiences we've had, I would think, in the last few months. And we see a lot of movies.
But our problem, I shouldn't say our problem, but we are very much, we don't go to a theater unless it's a horror movie.
Correct.
Right. So we have a whole schedule for the rest of the year for horror movies, include what's the one? Imaginary.
Cannot wait.
Can't wait for that one.
Evil teddy bears.
Yes.
What could be better?
But we don't even almost look at other movies if it's not a horror movie.
Correct.
The only reason this one was, and again, I love the Marvel movies and I love superhero movies, But this one wasn't on my radar to watch just because I just wasn't interested, wasn't into it. That's fine, not a big deal. When I started reading so much about this consensus of just how bad the movie was, I'm like, what in God's name is going on? I got curious.
You sent me, I remember on text, the reviews and some of the headlines, and they were some of the worst
Yeah.
headlines I've ever seen about a movie. And that made us both say, hell yeah, let's go.
We're saying,
I need to see this movie.
It was a curiosity. So and it's much credit to, look, Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney, right?
Yep.
These are talented. There's that's a
yeah.
lot of talented people in the movie. And so this is not an indictment of any way or even making fun. Look, these people put in their heart and their sweat and their effort into this movie. The product, whatever, it's being talked about the way it's talked about, but we went and enjoyed it. Yes, we went and it got our attention because of negative headlines, but we actually enjoyed the experience and had a good time.
A good way to put it, we were entertained from start to finish.
Whole time. We had an absolute blast.
I actually took some lines and put them in my notes in my folder to bring back up to you in silly moments because it was that good. And so I would just say sometimes you can appreciate things that you wouldn't think you could. And this is one of those.
That's a very good way to put it. So we had a blast doing that. And we got to have, while we were there, I guess we were eating and drinking in a way that we weren't able to do in January. We weren't drinking heavily, but I'm saying that to say that we were able to, at this theater, have a beer.
I had a glass of
wine.
rosé.
Yes.
Yep.
So we weren't intoxicated in such a way that it had any impact on us watching the film. But the point there being, it's February now. We got through January, a dry January, completely dry. Tell me at the end of January, you gave a little bit of an update, but as far as your health, after January.
So I lost 6.5 pounds in the month of January. And I actually weighed myself this morning because I wanted to make sure I was truthful. And it's the same. I kept it off. So that's amazing. That was a huge health benefit. Other than that, I think maybe I slept better and had extra energy in the morning, but I don't usually lack in either of those. So it's hard for me to gauge.
What was that last part again?
Well, energy. Like I popped out of bed. I mean, okay, today maybe I didn't. Today was the exception.
Baby.
But mostly, okay, fine. It takes me
Baby, I love
about
you.
20 or 30
Love you,
minutes
baby.
to wake up.
There is nothing you have ever done in the AM that qualifies as popping out of bed. Nothing.
But if you compare it to you, you've been up since 4. So you're like raring to go. I didn't even know you got out of bed today. That's true. I woke up, I'm like, wow, where did he go? And it was only 6:07.
Sweetheart, I could put a bullhorn to your ear, scream that there's a fire, and you would barely crack your eye open.
That's just because you're dramatic all the time.
So
and
you
I'm
don't
like,
pop.
oh, there he goes again.
Yelling fire. No, sweetheart. I get what you're saying.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
I had extra energy. So how about you? How do you feel?
It's been great, and you can testify on my behalf here. I just have not had an interest in drinking lately.
No.
I have not at all, and it's great. Clearly I feel better. I sleep better. I'm in better health. It makes the running easier, but it's just you get into a habit or a routine for 31 days of not drinking, and then February 1 came. I was like, whatever. But now it's going a little longer than I thought.
Yeah.
And alcohol is not appealing to me these days.
Both of us have, I would say, at least I would say maybe a 60 to 70% decrease in what our experience had been. So, I mean, I would say for sure. Now, I did have a glass of wine on February 1 just because I wanted to. But it's been really awesome. I have not, you start to create a habit and then you just don't go to it. Like we go to club soda. You got your little cranberry club soda concoction and you go to that a lot. Or now just Red Bull and... Is it because I said little? Is it because I said little?
She caught it too. Savine is looking and she caught it too. You have your little spritzer thing.
I mean, it is a spritzer. I was trying not to say spritzer because I know that doesn't sound very manly, but you have a little cranberry spritzer, sans alcohol, which you have kept up, which is great. It's refreshing.
It does.
Yeah.
So that is going really, really well for us right now. What else we have?
Did you lose any weight, by the way?
Oh yeah, you remember in the first 2 weeks I
Yeah.
dropped 8 pounds easy.
Men are so annoying like that.
That's the way we're annoying.
Well, it's just one of many ways, but it's just like, oh my gosh, I walked for 10 minutes and I lost 3 pounds.
That's how we talk.
Yeah, men do that.
And then after we get done walking, we have a little cranberry and club soda cocktail.
It's a little spritzer.
A little
spritzer.
Half marathon is coming up in a few weeks. We started something this year. We didn't mean to, but we kind of fell into it, and now it's a routine and it's a habit of running every single day. It is here we are, mid February. We have run every single day this year.
It's pretty awesome. I've never done that in my life. Hella, we must say, our former guest, Hella convinced us, or he didn't convince us. He was just telling us how great it was for him to have what he called a run streak, where he runs at least 2 miles every day. Now, his caveat is also that he has to run outside. We have not adhered to that because it has been brutally cold. There's been a few snowstorms actually here in New York City. And so I logged last week, and this is definitely a record for me, 26 miles on the treadmill, not all at once, but for a week. And we actually ran again this morning. We have not run outside since we were in New Orleans, which was what, a couple weeks ago?
You haven't.
Oh, you did? Oh, you did. I have not.
I didn't think about it. I just remembered.
You did.
I've run maybe even a couple of times.
I was like, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
I am not doing that. So I was on the treadmill, and we've developed some strategies. Mostly it's distraction because being on a treadmill, we did
hate the treadmill.
8 miles.
I didn't.
I did 8 miles. Yeah. What happened to you?
I quit. That's not funny.
And that's not, and honestly,
laughing?
that is so rare for you. You are not a quitter.
Oh,
you are not a quitter.
I hate treadmill running. And the most I can, 4 or 5, but I just wasn't feeling it that day. I stopped. I actually quit, left one building, went to another. I say, you know what? I'm going to finish up and run these last 4. I ran 2.
So I'm sitting on the treadmill. This is at our apartment gym, and I'm running, and all of a sudden he just gets his keys. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm done. And I was like, what? He goes, I'm going home. I was like, you are? And we weren't in a fight, so I knew he wasn't mad at me. I was like, okay, I'm going to let him do his thing.
But it's fair to think that
but maybe did I say, was it something I said? I'm not really sure what happened. So I just kept running, and I finished the 8 miles. It was awful, but I did it. And then I checked in with you, and you're like, yeah, I went back, ran 2 miles, and said, F this.
Yeah. It's just, I hate the treadmill, but this is a part of, we have to get it in because we are a few weeks away, 4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks away, I think.
So we have a very strict routine when it comes to running, but even on the off days, according to the training schedule, we still go down and we always get 2 miles in. And yeah, Hella Sidibe, if you don't know him, look him up. Hella Sidibe, we had him on. He has run every single day since 2016.
17, I think. 17, yeah.
He has not missed a day of running. And he is one of those folks, he won't get in your face and tell you to do this, do this, do this. It's one of those things where you don't have to talk somebody. You don't have to come up with something to influence somebody. Just set an example and they'll motivate themselves.
Yep. And you see his joy.
Oh my God.
And then it's like, I want that. I want to do that. I want to feel good and proud and accomplished. And it's true, just doing 2 miles, I would say doing 1 mile, doing half a mile, walking a mile, whatever it is, set a goal for yourself and say, I'm going to do this every day. And you get into a pattern, you get into a habit, whether it's not drinking or drinking less or exercising. And it's amazing how it sticks and how it does change your life for the better. So we've had a pretty awesome first part of the year with those.
You know, I was going to ask you about this in this episode. You said, I think it was just yesterday, it was certainly this week, this weekend, past couple days. You said we're doing great. You said we are doing. You were. I can't remember what we were talking about, but you were referencing like a couple of things that have happened, events have happened, work things have happened. Like there was like a streak, a momentum. You were referring. What were you talking about? You remember what I'm talking about?
Well, yes. I just think honestly. What I think you're referring to is once we had our fight, non-fight, whatever it was, and we had to listen to that thing 5 times, get it up, see and hear the reaction to it, not just online, but from friends and family. I really felt like I had a shift. I saw myself in a different way. I saw you in a different way. I saw us in a different way. And I felt intentional in a way I hadn't before. And so, yes, you can also attribute that to perhaps the goal setting that we did that I just mentioned, but also just about us and how I wanted to react to you, react to my own emotions, check my ego, all of those things. And we've had a really beautiful stretch.
Oh, but yeah, you said that just the other day.
Yeah.
And we didn't get a chance to expound on it.
It's good to recognize the good times because we all point out the bad times. But when you can say, hey, we're doing great, it's good to be able to say that to someone.
Yeah, that's one of the quotes I'm going to put up at some point, but you just reminded me of it. Don't let a bad day fool you into thinking you have a bad life. And right, we are so quick to jump on a bad moment, but man, what if we string together? Remember all those good moments? Well, they should not be eliminated just because you had a bad day or a bad moment. So that was as great as we were talking about we were doing. We thought it might all crumble because you and I have, look, for the past year and a half almost now, had to deal with some negative and awful headlines when it comes to, I should say tabloids more than anything else. But we started about, 3, 4, 5 days ago. There was a little bit of a drumbeat of calls we were getting from reporters and inquiries to where most of the time, okay, whatever, it's nothing, don't need to respond to. But it was enough of them that we said,
What's going on?
So
you usually say to me, have you done a Google search lately? Is there anything happening? Because why am I getting reporters calling me and texting me? And we even had some folks from the iHeart team check in and say, hey, what's going on? And we're getting phone calls.
So no matter how great we are doing,
we start to go, oh no.
We go, oh hell, what is it? And it felt like a bit of a headache. And there was one we finally, I think before the news ended up dropping, one of the inquiries we got made clear what the inquiry was about, which they were trying, and they were calling us for comment regarding our former employer. And a lot of people have seen maybe the news now from Disney, ABC News, as a reshuffling at the top when it comes to some of the executives, but they were calling us for our statement. Would you like to release our statement now?
Our statement is we wish everyone the best. And we're actually really not paying attention. But thank you. No, thank you.
Had no idea what was going on.
We thought, again, maybe, we just thought it was about us. We were actually just grateful it wasn't about us. We were like, funny? Thank God it's about something or someone or some other entity. Please refocus.
But if folks haven't seen, yes, there's a reshuffling. And we do want to... Look, Deborah O'Connell, which if you've seen the news, is someone who's been there at Disney, ABC for a long time. And she's someone we didn't get a chance to work closely with or frequently with. But she was always a great supporter. She was wonderful. It was somebody we always wished we could work with more. And anytime we got with her, we appreciated. So she's been elevated to a new position, and she's going to be overseeing a lot of things, including all of ABC News. But that was the news, and they were trying to get our comment on.
And I was actually so happy to see that she's been recognized because she has been just this awesome force and really didn't get any recognition for it beyond her role at WABC. Mm-hmm. But she has been, I just want to point this out, a huge supporter of breast cancer research, and she has been an advocate for the cause. And she and I have had many wonderful conversations about that, but she's just a wonderful woman all together. So we're very happy for her. And it was lovely to be able to see that that was the good news that was being released. And then of course they're always trying to stir the pot a little. So they want to see what we, or if we would have had any comment about what that might mean for the current ABC News president.
And look, we are, we don't pay attention. That's fair to say. We have friends and whatnot that we have who are still work there. But every time we see them and talk to them, we not say, hey, what's going on over there? We don't at all.
We actually don't talk about it at all.
At all.
It's just, no, we don't do that.
So we didn't know. But as far as, look, Kim Godwin, if you work in this building this industry long enough, which we both have, can you count the number of network presidents you've gone through?
She's lasted quite a while, and she was just renewed. So she's going to be there for the next 4 years. But oh my goodness, my first job alone, WCBD, TV2 Action News, I had 4 news directors in 4 years. That's just the way it goes.
It's just the business, and certainly at these levels. But they were calling, a lot of people calling for us, thinking, you know what, quite frankly, I think there were some who were wondering if we were going to take advantage or think that we would take an opportunity to, in some way, bash Kim Godwin. No, not in the least bit. In fact, as we sit here, I will raise my hand and tell you that when she was first hired, not only did I advocate for her, after she got there was a group of us, Black talent at ABC, that got together and pushed and pleaded for more diverse executives
leadership
at that network. So there are a lot of reasons. It doesn't even have to be, there's nothing personal. But we all need, it's so rare for a woman, it's so rare for a woman of color to be in a position like that. Like, we all, for the industry, need her to do well and would like for her to do well because that makes it easier for other women that are coming up behind her. And we have no ill will. And there's a lot of things about that situation over there that we are actually from afar, and as people who have been in the industry a long time, still root for and advocate for and can be good. So we got nothing bad to say.
We are rooting for both Kim and Deborah. And as you say, it is lovely to see women in positions of power and leadership. When I first got to ABC News, now, 13 years ago, there wasn't a woman to be seen. And now, from executive producers to news presidents to elevated positions, we're seeing women everywhere. That's amazing.
That's great. So that's our statement.
Yes, that's our statement. Congratulations, everyone.
To everybody. We since we last, oh my God, we talked about it. I don't think we've had a chance to talk about your birthday.
No, we have not.
That was February 6th. That was a fun day.
It was very fun.
It was a very fun day, but then the day after and the trip after was probably more fun. But we had to have a great dinner. Ofrenda, right? Mexican?
Ofrenda, yes.
Is that West Village?
Yes, West Village.
That's where we had the birthday dinner. 6 of us, closest, nearest, and dearest. And that was a really, really fun night. But we had to hop on a plane the next day and go to a place that we both love, but this is the first time we got to go as a couple.
As a couple, yes. We went, I think it was June of 2022. We were in and out quickly for our show. We did a live show there. And so we were like, this is such a cool city. And one day we should come back, not realizing that we would be able to come back actually as a couple.
You know what? You say it that way. To think about it now,
right?
Like, wow, we're enjoying this place, having such a good time, all this going on. We did not think for a second, wow, we should come back here as a couple. We didn't think that wasn't on the table.
But when you asked me where I'd like to go, we only had a couple days and needed to keep it, fairly close, but I wanted it to be warm and fun. And so I thought, where better to go than New Orleans? And what we didn't realize is that it was the weekend before Mardi Gras. And I've never been for Mardi Gras ever. And we still, I guess, technically did not make it to Fat Tuesday, but we were there for the weekend before and it was enough. And it was a blast. It was a blast. I learned a couple of things there. First of all, beads are thrown without shirts being lifted. I always thought that was a thing, and it isn't. It was really cute and fun to see people.
There's some of it.
Well,
there,
some
though,
people wore T-shirts that showed like it looked like they had boobs,
right? That's
right? That was how they got around it. But
oh wow, you're right.
It was fun and festive, and the parades were starting, and it was warm and it was lovely, and we had a blast, and people were so kind there. We loved. Did all of our waitresses who were females? Did all of them refer to us as baby?
baby and
Hey,
honey
baby.
and sweetie
Hey, honey.
and
Hey,
sugar.
baby.
You cannot do that anywhere else, but in New Orleans, it's okay.
And we loved it. I
love
was
it.
soaking it up.
I miss that. It's unique to this country. I think I don't go anywhere where it's just everybody does that.
It's just
I love
that
it.
Southern charm, hospitality, but it feels real. It feels authentic. They're not just saying it to get a tip. They're not just saying it because they want to, placate you. They really genuinely are just sweet and kind, and they love to call everyone babies. It's great. You know what else I learned?
Listening.
That I'm officially old. And I say this not because of the age I am. That's obvious. But I'm somebody, I feel like, who's always been able to stay out all night, last person on the dance floor, never want to go to bed. Sleep is for when you're dead. Like, that was always the way I lived. Every night, we were there for 3 nights. Every night, we were in bed, and I would say asleep by 10:30. And the great thing about that, and this is, again, I sound so old, is that we were able to continue to get up early, and we were out for runs at 6 a.m. And where did we run? Bourbon Street. And what was that like?
Gross. Absolutely gross. Do not ever go to Bourbon Street at 6 a.m.
Sober.
when you're going to be breathing heavily, right? If you're going to be taking in a lot of scents, you don't want to go down there.
Oh my God. But it was, yes, it smelled, but it was amazing to witness because people were still coming out of bars at 6 a.m. I didn't know that they stayed open 24 hours, but there are several who did and do. And that was, wow, who needs music or any kind of distraction when you're running down Bourbon Street and watching people coming out and walking down the streets from the night before that you went to bed at 10:30. You're rested. You're ready for the day. It was amazing.
You know, I have to, I take issue with the old thing.
Okay.
One, no guy wants to hear his girlfriend say out loud, I am officially old. Anything else, baby? No. But you got to qualify this a little bit. We were asleep early because I was up at 3 a.m. every day.
That's true.
Because we're a time zone off. I wake up at 4 and my body clock, I was still, boom, 3 a.m. The TV's on and you're like, what the hell's going on? So we were up early. And yes, running by 6 a.m., partying by 7 a.m. So, sweetheart, you did really good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Give yourself more credit than you are.
Were you amazed by the trash collection process and the street cleaning process?
Very impressed.
They were on it. I mean, the smells, yes, was
have to be.
them clearing it. But if you had just, if we were like normal people and woke up at 9 or 10, it would have been pristine and like perfect. You would never have known there was the unbelievable amount of trash that was on that street when we were running.
But that was a really good, fun trip. Good people. We got to.
Yeah.
I can imagine the that was the pre-party.
Wow.
So I can imagine the party. But that was a really, really fun trip that we.
I
got
didn't
to
want to
take.
leave.
But we came back, and we had to come back, and we scheduled to come back
Because
in particular because we had the Super Bowl that was coming up. We got to have a Super Bowl party here. How many people total?
Well,
What was it being?
10.
Was it 10?
10, I think.
10 people, 2 dudes. Right?
2 dudes, yeah.
Right. 10 people, 2 dudes, 5 teenagers,
Yes.
1 11-year-old.
Yep. So a tween,
Um,
and then an adult female.
what?
My friend Nikki.
Oh,
So there's just one other
I didn't
adult.
follow what you were saying. You just called yourself old and you said an adult female. Like, what are we talking about?
And I was
here?
like, I'm going to become a New York City police officer soon. An adult female was seen. No, so yeah, you were surrounded by women.
It was fun to see Annalise and her friends get into a football game for the sport. They weren't watching because they wanted to see Taylor Swift. They weren't watching.
Yeah.
They watched the halftime show and liked it, but they got into the competition. It was just fun. I love Super Bowl. You know, I love cooking. I love that type of thing. So that was really, really fun. And then after that, we had to get to Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, it's been busy.
It's been busy. Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
What's your general feeling about
So
Valentine's Day?
I love Valentine's Day. I love a day. Yes, I know it's a Hallmark holiday. People say they're manufactured, but you know what? I can't think of a better reason to manufacture a holiday than to celebrate love. So, and I think it's not just about romantic love. It's about parental love. It's about platonic love. It's about love. And so I had always, the girls knew this. I sent a care package to Ava in Germany, and the girls both know that Valentine's Day is actually like the big day. I always shower them with cards and love, and we usually do something or go somewhere.
That's cute.
I threw some money in her account to go have a fun night, but I always try to show them a little something extra on that day because it is a day about love. And look, it's not just about having a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a significant other. And I think some people get sad, and that's why they have Galentine's Day. But even Ellie's
what?
Galentine's Day. It's for girls. Sabine knows about it. Galentine's Day. You've never heard of that? No. So girls get together and go out and have fun and celebrate their love for each other and say, "Who needs boys?"
What's the guy equivalent of that?
I don't know. Galentine's Day? That is not a thing. I don't know, but maybe y'all should
Palantine.
I love that. You should coin that phrase. That maybe it's already a thing. I don't know. I've never heard of it. Never heard of it. Do you like Valentine's Day?
Yes. I wish I was able to. I don't. When you make a great point about it. Like I send flowers to Sabine. I send flowers to Brianna, my oldest. Right. The girls need to make sure that that daddy is make sure he's the number one guy who.
For now.
There shouldn't be anybody else, okay, Sabine, who's sending you flowers.
For now. On
Valentine's Day. Skip the for now thing she's saying. For the rest of your life, me. All right? So in that way, it's really sweet, but it also feels forced a lot of times.
It does.
It feels like, well, I'm going to get something because I have to. And there's this mad rush that's sometimes funny and cute. We talked about, like seeing some of the guys walking on the street on February 14th with balloons.
It was hilarious. Cute. It was hilarious.
It's cute. It's fun. But you kind of get into it, and you don't have to go get some extravagant piece of jewelry. Just a little box of those little what do you call them? Those little hearts?
Yeah.
What are they called? Exo hearts. Yeah, the hearts with the messages on them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What do they call them?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Love candy?
What
the hell?
Your 11-year-old just called it love candy.
Where'd you hear? New York City Public Schools. I swear to God. No, but everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So in that way, it does. It's sweet. It's fun. It's cute. But when it starts to feel obligatory, when it starts in an office setting to where you don't want to be the woman who doesn't have flowers.
That has happened to me before.
And you don't want to be the guy whose woman at work doesn't. That thing feels.
That's when
icky.
It gets tough, when it's competitive, and not even. Like it's just by nature, because you see everyone else at the office getting the flowers and all of a sudden yours don't show up. Yes, I have been in that situation, and I know intellectually it's not a big deal. But it still feels,
stings, yes.
It feels like a slight.
Yes.
Yes, I bet you there are some fights on Valentine's Day because the guy didn't get it right, and it does feel like it falls on the man.
Didn't get it right or didn't get it
at all. It could be both. Either one isn't
What's
good.
getting it right?
Just having a gesture. And if you work in an office, send it to the office. That is probably what you should do.
So you're making my point. If you're doing it just for show and not because you're making a genuine loving gesture, which there are 364 other days of the year. What is it you do on those days is the question that we should all ask ourselves, I guess.
Yeah, I hear you, but it still is, it feels really good to get flowers.
Okay.
It does.
I would have sent them to the office, baby, but
you're looking at the office. And just, TJ did get me some beautiful flowers. So they were really, really nice.
Thank God I did after hearing this.
But I didn't expect it. I was trying to remember last year.
Where were we? Oh, we were in Mexico.
Yeah. So you were, right? You didn't have to get me flowers.
We were on a plane, weren't we?
We were on a plane and we got it. We didn't know. We got each other cards, and you got me some of those candy hearts.
Did I really?
Yeah, you did.
And I don't know the name of them.
It's funny, but you did.
Can you Google that for me very quick? Oh, use your phone. I'm really wondering, what do you call those things?
I can't remember.
Something is slipping our minds. What do you call that?
I want to call them sweet tart hearts, but they're not. Wow, that was really funny, apparently.
Okay, I wasn't the only one laughing. Sweet tart hearts.
Like Be Mine and
those are cute.
Right, they're cute.
Those since we were kids. But what is the day? This is something I will recommend. Always, always, always send the flowers on
the day before.
Yes.
That's what you did.
They're called what?
Sweethearts. Okay,
They're
so I
just
was
sweethearts.
close. I said sweet tart hearts.
You were right, but sweethearts. Sweethearts.
Sweethearts.
Okay,
There we
simple
go.
enough.
That makes sense.
Wow. I
It's
feel
obvious.
Silly.
That was obvious.
How do we miss that?
I don't know. Maybe. No, we're not going to repeat
Sweetheart,
that.
you need to clear your browser history, okay? I don't know what you're doing, Sabine, but stop Googling whatever you're Googling.
Oh my God.
But yes, I do that because everybody's getting flowers on February 14th.
So you do
right?
it the day
So
before.
they're backed up, and how late, how long is it going to? You want somebody to be able to wake up and enjoy them on the day and have them the whole day. Because some of those deliveries don't come until
That's
7 o'clock
true.
at night.
That's true.
So you got to have a mad spouse the whole day.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's no good. Send them on
But
February
now that
13th.
you've just told everyone your secret, it's probably going to backfire.
I'm going to switch to the 14th
Yeah.
next year. But yes, it has been a great stretch, a great run. I hope maybe even people can hear it in our voices right now. Like, it's just, I don't know. I really, really don't know. And I hate for it to be a matter of lining up victories. Like, okay, this worked out. So now I'm happy because these things worked out.
Right.
It's a matter of sometimes getting in a good head and health space to where no matter what comes at you, you can handle it. You can deal with it. You can take it. And it does make a difference, sweetheart, knowing that I have you as a partner, knowing you are there. There is a relief when we are good and vibing, and whatever comes can come, and we're okay. So I agreed with you, and I was just curious and wanted you to
Yeah.
tell me what you were talking
Well,
about.
I just think it's important to recognize those moments because we're all so quick to point out what we don't like about, each other. And I just think that's just something that becomes habitual. So if you can try to make a habit of doing the opposite, like I really appreciate, these last few weeks, and I really have had a blast with you, and just even verbalizing it and acknowledging it makes a huge difference. I really think it does.
Oh, thank you, honey. So we have, speaking of some of the things going on and we're excited about and things going well, there's something, we can't tell you much now, but there is
Right.
something we are putting together and planning that will happen in the coming weeks, we hope.
Yes.
In which folks will be able to potentially come out and see us, mingle with us, and even be in the audience, if you will, as we're recording a podcast.
Ooh.
That is we're working
Plan.
on that. But we're very close and very excited to potentially make that announcement coming up soon. We're making an announcement to a lot of people, and the room can hold like 50. So,
Right. It's a pre-announcement of, I don't know. Well, it's about a month from now,
Yes.
and it is going to be here in New York. But if it goes well,
Yes.
we'll see if maybe
Yes.
we can get beyond New York. We don't want to set our sights too high.
I feel
Keep the
bad now.
expectations low.
There's going to be an announcement about an event you can't get into coming soon. That's kind of what I just
We
said.
can announce, though, something we're doing later in the week that everyone will be able to listen to.
Oh my goodness. We have some watching
Homework.
to do.
We have some homework to do.
Okay. You got to say it because I'm a mess. Pump,
Okay, yeah,
pump.
Vanderpump. So
Yes.
this is a huge franchise, obviously spinning off of The Real Housewives, but Vanderpump Rules. We are going to be binging it for the next couple of days.
Binging?
Yes, binging.
Sweetheart.
Yes. We're going to have to stop 90 Day Fiancé for a while now.
We just started.
I know, but we're going to have to take a pause on 90 Day Fiancé, and we're going to need to switch to Vanderpump Rules because we have a guest, we're not going to say who just yet, coming on the podcast later this week. And so we are going to be making sure we know all the ins and outs. I mean, this is a complicated, very, everyone who watches the show, when they start talking about it, they get elevated, they get excited. They're like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
So yes, we're going to get caught up and you're going to get the inside scoop.
And I keep screwing it up. How much catching up we have to do? I didn't even want to say it here, and I turned it over to you.
He keeps calling
because,
it
yes.
Vanderplump. And I'm like, absolutely, that is not the name. Also, is the name of a rosé now. So that's, Vanderpump.
Oh.
She has a rosé. So
You would think I would know that's wrong
Right?
as soon as you say Vanderplump.
Right.
That sounds ridiculous.
it's Vanderpump. Yeah. And so we're excited and we hope you are too. And that's something we can announce that everyone does get to participate in.
That's coming. So, that's our update. It has been a lot. We appreciate you all. We are getting a lot of great feedback and words from you all. Yes, in social media is one way, but also just walking down the street. It's
Yeah.
bizarre to have somebody scream at you a half a block away that they love your podcast.
It's great.
That's new to us.
Yeah.
And we appreciate any time, any energy, any love, any effort you make into saying you pay attention and you're giving us time, and even that you like what you're getting from us is always appreciated. And we thank you greatly for it.
Yeah, back to that, that kindness counts and it matters. And so we appreciate it. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. And we hope you will come back in a couple of days.
Vanderpump.
Look at you. I was going to look and see if you could say it and you still hesitated. For our Vanderpump guest.
Wow. And you know what? We have to thank this whole setup we are doing right now. We happen to be doing it at home. But the whole setup, we can credit an 11-year-old. Sabine Holmes is sitting here staring at us, but she set up the light. Things are plugged
like a key grip.
Yes, she's been great here. So, Sabine, we thank you for this.
She just took a bow.
Are you kidding me?
That was great.
Very
well done.
Let's see how the video and the audio sounds before you start taking bows, okay? All right, folks, you know where to find us. We are on Instagram and TikTok. We have individual accounts, but also the show page is at Amy and TJ Podcast on Instagram. We appreciate you as always. Vanderplump, here we come.